my voice, and then perhaps we don't even need this compression. So one of the things we used along here was a lot of sweet potato when I did the house plan here. And there's actually some fairly steep slopes there. That's worked really, really well. So if anyone ever has some vegetation here, and so we use that as the irrigation source for all around the property. And without that, it's just an absolute struggle to grow things because it's just so variable, as I'm sure everyone recognizes in Brisbane with the rain patterns. So this has been a very, very dry summer on the back of quite a wet winter and spring. It's a good question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. How many years have I been here for? We purchased the property in 2006. I did some light planting between then and 2008. By light planting, I mean like a couple of oranges, orange and an tangerine. Yeah, it's just been since then that everything's been planted up. So we use this on a few different things. We use them on mangoes. I use it on black sapotes. It works great on mangoes and passion fruit. Not quite as well for black sapotes because unfortunately when a black sapote falls off, it's like super mushy, like well past its use by date. But with passion fruit and mangoes and stuff like that, this is very effective. Very, very simple. So the thing that we've gravitated to, so this was a Vanessa invention. The thing we used to do like this and then cut out the bottom, and it was handy for storing them. You could sort of stack them up and whatnot. But now we've gravitated to this, where you basically slid along here and then just do a little kind of cut in through there, so that your branch that's attached to the fruit can has got something as opposed to just being kind of rubbed up there and get cut off. And then this opening, of course, allows any water to get out. So it's just a really simple way to protect the fruit. Occasionally, rats will still kind of like nibble at that, but honestly, I unfortunately had to start baiting for rats because they started eating my pineapples, and that was it. You go for my pineapples, it's like 2 years waiting for those things to grow. Sorry, game over that. So yeah, that works really, really well. This area back in here, this is actually the back of the chicken house. It was originally supposed to be a chicken run. And now I've kind of turned it into a bit of an area where one of the few areas where the chickens cannot go. So I've got some jackfruit along here. These are all the China variety, and I make a point of trying to keep these really short, well, relatively speaking. So around about the early springtime, when it's starting to warm up, I'll top them off, and I make sure that they don't get too big either. So this is just a bit of an experiment in terms of what you can potentially do by keeping jackfruit smaller and still get some fruit. Prior to putting a whole bunch of mulch in through here, these guys did almost nothing. So the mulch has made a really good difference to everything up here. I did have a cacao growing way at the back, but unfortunately with this last winter it was a bit cold and it bought it. Yeah, that was a shame. I would have loved to have.
So you've just put on the one lot of mulch?
No. There's been a few trips to the mulchery for that, and we bring the car with a trailer up here and just.
So would you like to tell them about coffee and being a weed?
Coffee is not a weed that Cheryl's making it out to be.
It is a weed.
It's locally weedy.
It is a weed.
It's locally weedy around the plant, but honestly, glycine and stuff like that is so far worse than coffee. Suriname cherries or Brazilian cherries, they're reasonably bad. As is curry leaf.
Curry is
curry
that's
leaf
what I was trying to think of. Far worse.
Massive weed.
Best grown in a pot. but coffee is not too bad, honestly.
Put down a shade cloth underneath when the berries are about to fall. Otherwise, we get everyone suckering underneath.
Yeah, sure, they do that. But locally weedy is completely different than, you know, suddenly 100 meters away, you got stuff popping up. So it's all right. Like the popcorn cassia, this stuff here. This is locally weedy, right? But this thing is never going to travel more than the distance the seeds fall. So I don't mind that, right? And the big teddy bear native bees absolutely love this. And it's just such an easy one to chop and drop. Literally, I can do that sort of thing to the branches there, and this stuff breaks down beautifully. So does that mean I can chop it down?
Geez, they're prolific, aren't they? I've had a thin mine
Well,
out
honestly,
too.
in some cases I find where they're like super happy, they're not so much work, but they compared to other bananas, they're not too bad. All right, so this oh, you will not keep on filing through, everyone. Go on. All right. Oh, thank you.
I've never seen something like this.
With just little seedlings, probably about 2010. Some of that came from George's place. Other ones I got from one of Cheryl's friends with the bird shirt. I can't remember what her name is. She's up in Nambour at one time. But anyway, and it was basically just to show. Well, I thought it was to show, because I didn't know at the time, that what you could do with Jaboticabas and form kind of quite an attractive hedge. I had trimmed this recently, so normally it looks floral and stuff like that at the top. But the awesome thing with Jaboticabas, of course, is that because they fruit on the trunk, trimming them up and stuff like that doesn't really impact their fruit production, as long as you're not constantly cutting off the leaves so they're not actually getting energy into the plant. So they're planted 800 mils apart, so quite close. And it could probably be a bit further away, but again, this is something I wanted to do a bit of an experiment, try it out, see how she worked. I have topped this at one stage. I desperately need another topping again. So I think now I'm going to have to get some scaffolding for that job. Yeah, they're really quite an effective kind of hedge. And you imagine neighbors, instead of having a fence, using a Jaboticaba hedge like that. I think that would be absolutely lovely. I put this in here, so when we moved up in 2008, I just did for a year, I did an assessment of the site. And then I decided that we plant the main orchard here. So this is southwestern facing, kind of on a slope. So it's not the ideal area, but it was really close to the shed. Ultimately, anyway, for kind of like a food forest thing, that was fine. So I planted a few different things in here, like this bamboo along there, which really does dry out the soil something furious, but it provides an amazing buffer against these southerlies, and it really made a huge difference there. Although if I were to do it again, I'd probably replace it with a whole bunch of jackfruit instead, because they really do suck the soil dry of all nutrients. Things that have done reasonably well beside there is the Panama berries. I do have a few of these down at the bottom of the property as well. There was a bit of a test just to see kind of what might go well. Hasn't really slowed down the white sapote back there. That's the new one. And then I've got a few other things like the Lacordia there. That does all right. It really appreciates the bamboo because it doesn't do well with wind. That thing at one stage literally got sheared off at the bottom, and that's regrowth from that event. So star apples, look, they do all right. They grow fine here, but they just don't have enough water.
Like fruit?
So they flower. You can see they're flowering now. But unless I pump pump the water in through here, they won't produce much. This one has produced a little bit, but not too much, which is again kind of a testament to its survivability given that right beside these massive bamboo stands.
That's a green, is it?
Yeah, that's the Haitian.
I know, when you see green of some sort.
That was either a pink or a green, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, again, I got these ones from George. Oh, look at that!
You have
Woohoo!
3.
Oh, this is the first time!
Do I want a picture of your face? I'm happy to see.
Oh, look at that!
And there's another one on the other
Look
side
at that,
too.
this one looks ready!
What is it?
A cha-cha!
Oh,
Oh, yeah!
Do you want a photo to mark the occasion?
Oh,
There you go.
That's awesome.
Dad.
Okay, so...
Dad. I couldn't find your wood roll, so I got you more.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to steal it. It's one of its
This is
three.
very, very slow growing to
Yeah.
produce fruit. So,
No, rubbish, they're fast. They are in our place.
okay. Anyway, George has got a better...
No,
better
you
situation.
don't feed them enough zinc, I keep telling you. Zinc, zinc, zinc. It makes all the
right.
difference in plants.
I need more zinc.
You virtually can't overdo it.
Jackfruit, excellent. Stand up to the wind really, really well. Mulberries, they're good as well in windy conditions, but...
Not coming through.
Huh?
You're not coming through.
You need to put the microphone close to your mouth.
Oh, I'm not coming through, sorry. So the mulberries do... actually, Cheryl, get closer to me. Come on.
Good to see you.
I took a shower specifically before.
No, you're fine now. You're fine.
Look, because I've come closer and I'm in the sun. Anyway, so yeah, mulberries do well in windy conditions, but they lose their leaves in the winter, which is typically when we get our wind. So yeah, not necessarily the best. And then other ones like the Cherry of the Rio Grande. Awesome with wind than you are. Have a nibble. Okay. Well, we picked it up. I do. So this is a black gold jackfruit. I do find that it is more susceptible to getting the mold issues with it. But it is a really, really lovely tasting jackfruit. This year has been a bit drier during the summer, so it hasn't been quite as bad. Jackfruit actually do prefer kind of a drier location. So that's often where they grow them in some India locations. So there we go. Well, they're more of a noise, and you can sure tell when they come around them because yeah, it's very scented. Anyway, this has been I've chopped it at the top here, but this has been an excellent windbreak. Although it will lose when it is quite windy, it will lose a number of its leaves, but it just comes back.
Did you use Organibor at all?
Yes, I have used Organibor.
Did you notice any differences?
I did, but I'm probably long overdue for another round of.
Organibor is a slow-release form of boron. It's boron.
Andy Jaboticaba over there is still very young. It hasn't done much through the summer. Again, I think it's because it's been so dry, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, this one was worth mentioning. Rumberry or something like that. I originally got this another one from George. This is quite interesting because these guys here, they turn a yellow, and when they keep coming through, everyone, keep falling through. When they're soft, that's the time to eat them. When they're still either yellow and firm, then they've got this like it's not bitter, but it's.
So wait till they're soft on the tree, or
Wait. Well, some they'll drop down on the ground as well. But trench through here goes all the way. You can't see when you're over there. Anyway, this trench along here goes all the way from the rainwater tanks at the back of the shed through to here. It even goes under the road. I really like trenches and swales and stuff like that. What I'll do is I'll pump water into them. This one I've mulched all up. And so what this does is it becomes basically a soil factory, which means if I do need soil for plants or anything else like that, I can just mine in through the trenches, and I've got great stuff. It's been a fabulous place for the ginger, and so I've had some other ginger experiments down there. So I'm going to convert this into this is a bunch of different dwarf Jaboticabas through here. So I'm going to put the ginger in between them. So I've got some, I've got some reds, I've got some scarlets, I've got some crosses and stuff like that. So they haven't produced anything for me yet, but this is kind of like my extension of my Jaboticaba. I've also got a white one over there, but it hasn't done anything for me. It's not like Cheryl's produced all the time.
Are you going to do a bunya pine here?
They're from the bunya nuts that I throw down all the time. It would actually kind of block things, so no. No, I'll yeah.
Mine's producing currently. Yeah, but how far from the house? Huh? How far from the house?
There. Wait.